Hey, there we are. Takes a while for the connection to come up. Let's wait for some people to come in here. We have some breaking news on the Joshua, or excuse me, I keep calling him Josh, the Joseph Duggar criminal case. My, what a tangled web we weave. Just going to give it a few minutes. So if you're watching this on the replay, you might want to fast forward a little bit. Oh, hey, Rita. Let me just check the audio here. Oh, hey, Rita. Can you hear me loud and clear? I'm going to try to watch the chat on both the phone and the computer. So if I start looking away, that's why. I really need to get a new laptop or something so that I can set that up on the coffee table so that if we start having these problems with these messages, let me type a test into the chat. Yeah, see oh, there it is. It came up on my phone. It's a little bit delayed. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up already and the red hearts. Let's bring the people in. I know it's Friday afternoon here, Friday night maybe where you guys are. But this can't wait until tomorrow. This case is breaking so quickly that it can't wait until tomorrow. I've learned so much just since last night and this afternoon. And this is a sickening case to have to report on, but it's important. Got 5 people in here. Let's get it up a little bit more. Sorry if it can take 3 to 5 minutes sometimes for the big group to come in. So I don't want to have to repeat myself because this is just getting sicker by the moment. As I stated in my opening, what a tangled web we weave. Oh my gosh. 6 people. Let's get it up to at least 10 so I can get this thing going. I don't want people to get upset on the playback and go, hey, you're taking too long. Just say it. I get those kind of messages sometimes. But I'm not a big YouTuber yet, so it's not like, 100 people come in the first 30 seconds. That'll be the day. And we will celebrate, if I can ever get to that point. Heck, if I can just get my monetization back, we'll celebrate. We'll throw an online party. Getting closer. And if I haven't said it enough, I appreciate every single one of you for coming in. Maybe some more red hearts and YouTube will throw this out there to the algorithm. Oh, wow, more thumbs up already. That's great. Thank you so much. This is just, I can't even believe this. I just watched a video from another YouTuber who knows a lot more about these things than I do, and on her video that was released about 5 hours ago, they didn't even have this information yet. And I heard about this yesterday. There was some rumors yesterday that something was getting ready to go down with this case in Arkansas as well. And it has actually happened. Let's just get a few more people. We're at 7. 4 thumbs up. Wow, thank you so much. I hope you guys are doing well this afternoon. It's happening so fast, I didn't even have time to write it down, so I printed out things like this, just so I could have some notes. I'm researching more about the Duggars and trying to play catch up. Hey, Mike, how you doing? I'm just waiting for a few more people to come in, and then we're just going to get this thing going. And if people miss the beginning, they'll just have to watch the replay, I guess. This is just awful, though. This case makes me very sad that this is happening. And I suspected it was going to turn in this direction. Hey, Brenda, how you doing there, cousin? Yeah, I'm just going to give it a few more seconds just to get a little bit more people in here, and I'll let you know. This just broke. A lot has happened since yesterday, since my life. And I'm sure by the time I go off the air, maybe something else will break. I mean, this is crazy. 9 people. We're 1 away from getting started. Let's get it up to 10. Hit those red hearts. That'll help YouTube, the YouTube algorithm bring people in. We might lose people while we're waiting for 1 more. Oh, yeah, now we're down to 8. We just lost somebody. And on my desktop, I am frozen, so I hope you guys can see me. Make sure I'm not frozen. Somebody let me know in the chat if I'm frozen. Because it's frozen on my computer. It's not frozen on my, let's see. Okay, it unfroze. I'm good. Well, you know what? I'm just going to go about it. We've been waiting almost 7 minutes. Okay, this is super important. I've been hearing rumors since yesterday. Well, first of all, let me introduce myself if you're new here. I'm aprildavispi. I'm in Los Angeles, California. And it is March 20th, 2026. This is a follow-up on the Joshua Garrett. Not Joshua. Why do I keep calling him Josh? I always have that in my mind. Joseph, let me correct, Joseph Garrett Duggar case. I heard a rumor that there was another investigation going on, along with what's happening in Florida, that there's an investigation going on in Arkansas, and that charges, additional charges, besides the ones in Florida, may be coming down soon. And this afternoon, this just broke. From Fayetteville, Arkansas, it says Joseph Garrett Duggar, 31, is facing new misdemeanor charges out of Tontitown, Arkansas. Yeah, now this is separate than the charges in Bay County, Florida. According to the Washington County jail roster, he's facing charges of false imprisonment and endangering the welfare of a minor. The Washington County prosecutor, Brandon Carter, said the charges are misdemeanors that will be handled by the city of Tontitown in district court. Oh, thank you, Mike. I'm doing good. Yeah. So he did have his extradition hearing this morning at 7:45 a.m. with a judge via Zoom in Arkansas. Apparently his wife, Kendra, did not make an appearance. I hear that Jim Bob is scrambling to get a top defense attorney. These children are never held accountable for their actions. I had heard this yesterday, that the trial, or not the trial, but the hearing, the extradition hearing, would happen today. Someone in my live yesterday was like, no, it happened today. It already happened. No, it didn't. It just happened this morning at 7:45 a.m. Arkansas time. And I don't know how soon he will be extradited, but he did go before a judge via Zoom to start making the arrangements for that extradition. In the meantime, though, he's also in trouble now in Arkansas. In fact, I need to go to, I checked his mugshot today and any pending things, and nothing had come up yet. But I had a little bit of work I had to accomplish today, and then I just heard the news break. Even Katie Joy didn't know about this yet, because her video was like 5 hours ago, 6 hours ago. She didn't even know this it hadn't been announced yet. This was just announced, that he is facing misdemeanor charges out of Tontitown, Arkansas. Yeah, false imprisonment and endangering the welfare of a minor. You know, I gotta wonder if his own kids are going to be involved in this. I mean, it's sickening no matter who the victim is, but are his own kids going to be involved in this? And you know what's really sad is when his brother Joshua was arrested, his wife Anna, who is not my favorite person, she denied Child Protective Services from being able to go to her home and interview her kids. And the authorities in Arkansas at the time, they could have got a court order in regards to Josh's case. They could have got a court order against Anna, ordering her to have the kids available to be interviewed. And they never got that order. Now, you got to wonder why. Was someone with the Child Protective Services in Arkansas, were they already in Jim Bob Duggar's back pocket? We're not going to accuse him of that, but, that's the way this family rolls. The boys are taught to pay people, buy people off, bribe people, deliver cookies to the police station. You have everybody in your back pocket if you're Jim Bob Duggar, allegedly. And his wife, she teaches that a woman or a girl, female, needs to service her husband, and that is her number one duty, is to service her husband and birth children. And she had so many that once her kids were born, and then she would have another one and another one, then the older children would take over the child rearing of the younger children. Apparently, they even went on Oprah Winfrey's show and talked about that. How, like the women the wives have the babies, but the other children raise them. So the siblings, the older siblings, are more like the parents than the actual parents, because they're just busy making babies. And so, they teach their boys to be disrespectful of women and just treat them as an S object, and they're just a baby making machine, and they're not encouraged to work or to get an education or get a professional job skill, because you're just supposed to be basically barefoot and pregnant, and you service your husband even if you're not physically well enough to do so, because men are superior and women are just treated like dirt. And when you have a father that's constantly teaching the boys, like, that you take care of other people, if you know what I mean, that without accusing him of bribery. I don't know the man. I don't live in Arkansas. But this is the type of behavior that he's been allegedly involved in for years. And so these boys are, they're taught that it's okay to treat women like crap, and it's okay to have these indiscretions, to possibly even commit these crimes. And it's handled. It's covered up by the church, or the church will handle it. The church, Jesus will save you. No, that doesn't work. Hey, Jane. And it's sick. And now that this has happened, we are talking about Joseph Duggar here, but Joshua Duggar has already made a public statement from his federal prison in Seagoville, Texas. And he says, regarding this situation with Joseph, he lives with the painful reality of how false accusations can destroy a life. He understands how the targeting of a person for publicity can twist the truth into sensationalized fiction. This is a guy who won't even admit to his own crimes and indiscretions. He's already, and him and Joseph are not close at all, because when all this came out about Josh, Joseph said, hey, whenever somebody you respect is the most willing to get up and proclaim what we believe as Christians about being true to your wife, you'd never think that that's the person who's involved in it. Okay? So I guess, Joseph was not happy that Josh cheated on his wife, but yet there's no mention of how he felt about the child P charges, can't say the word, and how he felt about 4 sisters, a babysitter, and possibly another victim being SA'd by Josh. The true crime here was not being a good Christian and cheating on your wife. And that's, I don't approve of that either. Somebody cheats on their spouse. But to me, that's not as serious of a crime. Well, it's not a crime. It's just an immoral act. That seems to not be as serious as committing actual crimes, especially against minors. I mean, you shouldn't commit a crime against anybody. And yesterday, one of my mods was sending me some messages. And I hope she's not upset when she rewatches this, but she was like, just sexual assault? Question. And I know you can't always understand somebody, what they're really trying to say in just a text or in a comment, but I'm not trying to minimize the seriousness of this. But we were talking about the charges, how in Florida you get 25 years to life for this type of charge. In most states, you wouldn't even get that type of sentence even for the R word. And I looked it up just to be clear, because in California, a lot of times you don't even get transferred to prison because the prisons are too full. We have 50 million people that live here, and there's criminals in every state. And so it's really important that, in Florida, this guy's going to be doing more time than he would be doing, let's say, if this happened in California. Because in Florida, the prison sentence for SA, referred to as S battery, varies significantly depending on the age of the victim, the age of the offender, and whether aggravating factors were present. Penalties can range from 15 years to life in prison. Now, if the victim is 12 years of age or younger, as this victim is reported as being 9, or if a deadly weapon or severe physical force was used, the crime is classified as a life felony or capital felony. This carries a mandatory minimum sentence of 25 years up to life without parole. Hi, boo-boo. So I'm not saying that, it's just a sexual assault and that's not important. Yeah, I think people like this should be locked up for life, because these kind of people never rehabilitate. And they usually are always repeat offenders if they get out. Now, if you're in California and this happens, you would get a state prison sentence of 3, 6, or 8 years for the R word, and only 2, 3, or 4 years for felony S battery, also known as SA. Offenders face a lifetime S offender registration for major offenses, up to $10,000 fines, and a strike under the 3 strikes law. Because we do have that in California, the 3 strikes law. If you're convicted of a felony, that's a strike. Another felony is a second strike. And the third felony, you're in prison for a very long time. Habitual offenders can lead to 25 years to life in prison. But initially, even if somebody gets the R word, it's 3, 6, or 8 years. SA is only 2 to 3 or 4 years in California for a felony. In Florida, especially involving a child under the age of 12, the sentence is 25 years up to life in prison without the possibility of parole. So I wasn't trying to underscore the seriousness by saying, it's just a sexual assault and they're going to give this guy 25 years to life. I was just trying to talk about what sentence he may be facing. And in addition to what he may be facing in a state prison in Arkansas or Florida, which is totally different than what Josh faced, he's in a federal prison in Texas, Seagoville, Texas. That's a whole different ballgame, a federal prison. This Joseph Duggar would be going to state prison. And in the state of Florida, unlike California, where I live, and that's the system I'm most familiar with, you have to serve a minimum 85% of your time. They don't take time off for good behavior, apparently. You get a 25-year to life sentence, and you will have to serve 85% of that in prison in Florida. Hi, Jay. Yeah, you haven't missed much. I just made the big announcement about charges have just been filed in Arkansas against Joseph Duggar. It's not good. Misdemeanor charges. His Florida case will take precedence because that's the case that started first, and that's, those are felony charges. He had his extradition hearing this morning in Arkansas. His wife apparently did not show up. And then we talked a little bit about how the males in the family were raised versus how the females were raised. The males are taught to cover their indiscretions. You discuss it with the church. You don't turn people into the police. Everybody's on the take. Oh, Kelly, you just came in. You need to see on the replay later. I just explained some of the comments just to clarify more of what I said yesterday. I didn't want you to think that essay wasn't important. I was going over the penalties, like the penalties and the charges in Florida versus how somebody would be treated in California. In California, someone could be out in as soon as 2 years. In Florida, it's 25 years to life, and you must serve 85%. And I was surprised at that even in California, if you were convicted of the R word, it's not that many years. And with good behavior, you're out even sooner. In Florida, for a lesser offense, such as felony touching, compared to, violence are, and possibly even worse, you're going to do a minimum of 25 years to life without the possibility of parole. And you're going to do most of that sentence. In the meanwhile, he's now just been charged today in Arkansas. The article came out of Fayetteville, and the charges are out of Tontitown, Arkansas. He is facing charges of false imprisonment and endangering the welfare of a minor. And I think at this point, CPS, Child Protective Services, they need to conduct an investigation in Arkansas and interview each and every one of the kids. When this same similar situation involving S charges happened to brother Joshy, his wife, who I did call stupid yesterday, and I will still call her stupid. Obviously, some people on here have followed this show, and some people haven't. And I don't think she would be able to pass an IQ test without being at some disability level. It's that bad. And she refused to let the authorities from CPS even interview her kids. And CPS could have got a court order forcing the issue in court, but they didn't. And maybe that has something to do with the rumors that Jim Bob Duggar has the entire state of Arkansas in his back pocket. I'm not accusing him of wrongdoings. I'm not accusing him of bribes. I've heard that they deliver cookies to the Tontitown Police Department. Hi, Crystal. Yeah, not just stupid, very stupid. I mean, when you put your felony convicted S offender husband ahead of your children who were possible victims, that's a problem for me. As a mother, you should do everything possible to keep your kids safe. Under all circumstances, your kids should always come first. I'm speaking from experience. That didn't happen in my family. And I'm not going to go into the gory details, but that didn't happen in my family. Children were not protected in my family. And it had nothing, there was no sexual assault, anything like that. I mean, I swear, that never happened in my family. At least not to me and not to anybody else that I know of. But it's a parent's duty, a mother's duty, to keep your children safe. And when your husband is going to federal prison for the worst crimes on earth, I think, that anybody could commit, and the authorities come and say, we want to do an investigation and we want to interview your kids, and she holds out the stop sign and says no, that's when that agency needs to get a court order. And I'm hoping that Kendra is smarter than Anna and that she will do whatever she has to do so that all of this stuff comes out publicly and it's not just handled by the church. Because, when Joshy essayed 4 sisters, allegedly, and a babysitter, and possibly a 6th victim, and we don't know who that is. Only 2 of the Duggar girls have come forward. That was Jill and Jessa. The other girls were believed to be Ginger and Joanna. Can't prove any of it. Crystal, I am a victim and my abuser got a slap on the wrist in Florida, but that was in the 80s. Oh, I'm sorry, Crystal. Yeah. And, it is true that more than 50% of victims, as far as I know, they don't even come forward because it's so traumatic. I applaud this little girl who's now 14 for coming forward. I applaud her father the day he found out, going to Josh. And I keep calling him Josh. I have that on my mind because that's the one in the family that's supposed to be the bad seed. And now the kid Joseph, who's supposed to be one of the best Duggar boys, is involved in all this. And that's why I keep saying this is shocking. I can't believe it. I mean, I could believe it if it was maybe one of the other brothers that I know a lot less about, but that would be the least likely brother that I would point to. That shows you it's not just that, oh, they went from one bad seed to two bad seeds. No, there's more to this. There's something going on in that home. And I know there was, there's allegations and all these wild stories about Grandpa Duggar and how Cousin Amy wasn't ever allowed to be alone with him. But I got to wonder what happened with Jim Bob Duggar. Why in that home, more than just the IBLP beliefs, why was it so hammered into these boys that you hide your indiscretions and you keep people in your back pockets, financially speaking? You go to the church, you go off for 3 months and you travel with the church and you build a barn for 3 months, and that's your essay, rehabilitation, when there's 5 or 6 victims, 4 of them being your own children. Like, I don't agree with that. Crystal says, I'm so glad Florida became more strict. Yeah, kudos to Florida. Kudos to Florida. I totally agree with that. What have I missed? Yesterday when I was doing this live, there's something called eco mode on the thermostat, and I don't want to lose the connection here. Let me see if my iPad is there. I don't even think my Nest is installed, but let me just grab my iPad, or let me go over to my thermostat. Hold on. Sorry. That eco mode kicks in the afternoon, and it's supposed to be like 97 degrees here. And yesterday, by the time I got off my live, I checked my thermostat. I was like, oh my God, it's so hot in here, like I'm dying. And I had to run the AC for like 3 hours, even with the temperature dramatically dropping in the evening. I had to run it for 3 hours just to cool it down 3 or 4 degrees because this building doesn't have the right insulation. The AC is old. I was just starting to feel that, like, ugh. Okay. Kelly says, that was just my root beer. Because they aren't stupid, they know it's wrong, so they cover it with lies and threats. Jay, I question Jim Bob's influence too. Women are property to them. Yes. They're just S objects and baby makers. And in that family, once you have the next one and the next one, the older siblings are there to raise the children, not the parents, because they're too busy making babies. Welcome to global warming. I know. Like, a lot of people here, I've seen it on threads lately. There's so many Angelenos that are concerned right now, and they're saying, am I the only one that's concerned about this? That it's been 90 degrees since in February, and this is not even spring, which I think is that just happened today or yesterday, spring. Like, I haven't even looked at the calendar. It's already summer here, and we don't get our summer until August, September, sometimes into October and November. This is very scary here, what's happening. If any of you guys have missed the beginning of this, please feel free to go back. But I went over the laws in California. The R word is generally 3, 6, or 8 years. And battery, also known as SA, felony offenses carry only 2, 3, or 4 years. A misdemeanor can result in up to 1 year in county jail. Now, that'll never happen because we're overcrowded. Now, there are aggravating factors in habitual offenders that can get longer, but usually you don't serve very much time, and you have to be in the S offender registry for life. That's it. Like, so just so you know, I wasn't trying to diminish what happened yesterday. I wasn't just, it came out wrong. The words came out wrong. YouTube is hard, people. It's more than just a sexual assault. A sexual assault is serious enough where I think somebody should be locked up for life. I mean, maybe Kelly, because of your career, I know what you did for a living. Do you think that ex offenders can be rehabilitated? Because in my job, I never see that. I never, let me just, my computer is so behind. I hate that we're having problems here. If my picture or my audio goes out, can somebody please let me know? Oh, I didn't see you come in, Brahim. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, and I think it's sick where the mother, oh, March 22nd is spring. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Yeah, what is it like? Are people ever rehabilitated? I mean, even somebody like Jeffrey Dahmer, admitted that if he ever got out, he would do it again, even though he didn't want to. But he has these urges and he can't stop. And his ramped up from abusing animals to killing animals to essaying little boys to murdering. I shouldn't say that word. To unaliving people, cannibalism. I mean, it doesn't start out like that. It's like people that are men that are peeping toms, or they get charged with a misdemeanor of indecent exposure. And eventually those crimes ramp up to SA, which that's how I would describe either SA or the M word. That's how I would describe what Joseph is being accused of when it comes to touching. And then it really ramps up when it can get to the R word. And so far, we have no evidence that has happened. And, everybody here is innocent until proven guilty, but they are saying that he did confess. Yes, escalation is the word, Jay. He did allegedly confess to this. And then, Bay County, they got the arrest warrant. They sent it to Washington County, Arkansas, Town Police Department. They booked him. He wasn't charged at that point with anything in Arkansas. He was just booked, being held for transfer. But now, since I checked it this morning, apparently these new charges that are now in Arkansas that are misdemeanor charges, those have now been tacked onto this case. And it would be a separate case because it's a separate state. It's a separate jurisdiction, just to make that clear. Kelly says, a pedo one time told me it would be like if someone told me I was breaking the law because I'm sexually attracted to men. You can't become unsexually attracted to men. Exactly. Remember Stephen Collins? No. Can't unspool our brains to adjust it. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen it in my career where people get rehabilitated. They're usually repeat offenders. Apparently, just in LA the other day, some guy just got out of prison for unaliving a couple people, and he's already out, and he's already killed somebody. Oh, was that his name? The father from Seventh Heaven? Yeah, they used to film that on my old street. It was literally, the church was like 2 blocks away, and I used to see them filming all the time. It was weird because you go outside and that they would all be standing on the corner in front of the church, and I've seen some of them at the Hollywood show. But yeah, okay, that guy. I didn't realize. See, I've forgotten about. I've already put him out of my mind so much that I thought about that when you said that, and then I'm like, no, let me look. Yeah, Stephen Collins, you're right. I'm already just trying to disassociate my mind. And, he admitted to his indiscretions, but many, many years later, and he's ruined. His career's over. Joseph his life is over. His poor wife, his children, like Josh's children, they're going to have to grow up without a dad if he's found guilty of any of this. And I hear that, JB, Jim Bob, is actively looking for a defense attorney. If I were a parent, I would be sick of spending all my millions, because he's apparently has gained millions in real estate, and there's just rumors about tax issues too. I wouldn't want to spend all my money on defense attorneys for my criminal sons. But, I'm not a parent. There was a case in my town once, and the mother of the perpetrator, who was yet unknown, told my mom in a grocery store that she hoped that they catch the guys who did the crime and that they get the death penalty. And then it turned out the primary in the crime was her own son. And for years, that mother and father spent every dime that they had to make an appeal to the state they lived in to try to get them out. And that was the same mother who said, I hope they catch the guys who did this, and I hope they get the death penalty. So, if you're a parent, maybe that's the way it works. I just, because of what I do for a living, what I have done for a living, maybe I'm too hard on people, because I do not accept criminal behavior of any kind. That's just the way it is. I do not condone criminal behavior. And I don't condone just being unethical or immoral. Whoa, Ladybug. Is this true? Did this just happen? Was Kendra picked up? In fact, I'm going to go to the website. The computer's right in front of me. I'm going to type in, if you guys want to do this at home, Washington County, Arkansas jail. And then you can go to the detainee intake roster. And you know what I like about their roster? What I don't like about it is you can't just type in a name, and you have to go through all, I haven't figured out how to do that yet. There must be another tab I'm not hitting. I don't see her name in there. And they only have the last 3 or 4 days of people listed. Let me go to Joe's. I like the fact, though, that they put the mug shots. Because in our career, it's usually I have to go to LAPD or whoever and say, hey, I know I'm not supposed to have this, but I'm working this guy and I need every mugshot you have on this guy. And I've had smaller police departments give me everything. And then they're like, you need to be very careful because this guy carries a gun. Okay, wow, now the new charges are listed. Oh, boy. Okay, they've just listed the new charges. The Office of the Sheriff, Washington County, Arkansas, false imprisonment, 2nd degree, 4 counts out of Elm Springs District Court. Bond is 0. I think that's because he's on a hold for the other department. And endangering the welfare of a minor in the 2nd degree, 4 counts. And then they have a court date of April 29th, 2026. I don't think he'll make it to that. I think he'll already be in the pokey in Florida. He won't be in prison yet, but he'll be being held in Bay County Jail. Oh my God. So false imprisonment, 4 counts, endangering the welfare of a minor, 4 counts. Oh, geez. And we don't know if this is someone else, because the alleged victim of the crime that occurred in Panama City Beach, Florida, said that the multiple crimes stopped, I guess, when she asked him to stop, and then he apologized and said he was sorry. So this could be one of his kids. Not unless he essayed the same girl in Arkansas too. but she claims that those crimes occurred in Florida. So this could be a second victim. Yes, it's true. It's just happened. Well, if it just happened, she wouldn't even be in the system yet if they have processed her. Yeah. Oh. Or it could be 4 different kids. Oh, you mean on the 4 counts? I would read that as being the same person, not the person in Florida, but like he did this and this to this person 4 times, but that could be. Wait, so in his mind, if they did not say stop, it was okay. Exactly. Apparently from what I'm hearing, and this is, we don't know who this victim is. I mean, supposedly we do, but we don't. We're not going to name names here, but he was eventually asked to stop, and then he apologized, and she confessed that it never happened again. And that victim is supposed to be the younger sister of Kendra. And there are 9 total kids, including her, in the Caldwell family. Let me go into Google. I mean, I hope that that's not true. Oh boy. Oh geez. There's only one article here. It's from friggin' India, so. And this says, see, there's something wrong with this. It says updated on March 21st. Oh, it's March 21st in India at 4:30 a.m. India Standard Time. Okay, I'm just looking at this really quick. Everybody, while I'm looking at this, I'm going to tell you what it says. Please give me a thumbs up. Okay, it says Kendra Duggar, 27, faces child endangerment charges. Now, this is coming, though, from the Hindustan Times in India. Here's what we need to do. I just need to go to my friend. Well, he's not really my friend, but I have been to meetings with him. Let's just go to TMZ. See what they say. Because I think they would report on this for a fact. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, people. Oh, boy. Thanks, Ladybug, for letting me know. It's on TMZ. Kendra Duggar arrested in Arkansas. A warrant was issued for Kendra on Friday. Police went to the Duggar family compound in Washington County earlier Friday with a warrant for Kendra's arrest, but she was not there. But now she's been taken into custody, according to Washington County Detention. She was wanted for allegedly endangering the welfare of a minor and false imprisonment. What? And that's what Joseph has been charged with. He was charged with false imprisonment and endangering the welfare of a minor, and that was Joseph Garrett Duggar. That just happened today. And now, oh my God. And let me go back to, I hate the fact that let's just be able to put the names in instead of having to, there's a charged list. Detaining visit, no, I don't want to bring a gift. Can't they just have you put the names in? Detention information. Detention roster, detailed. But there's no place that I can just type it in. Well, at least I have it in alphabetical on the other tab. I'm sorry, people. Please give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Kendra is the wife of Joseph. I keep wanting to say Josh. Joseph Garrett Duggar. And let me see. Yeah, she has not. She may have been processed, but it's not in the system yet. And I understand that because it can take several hours to go up on the website. So Joseph is in. And of course, his information has been updated since he has been charged today with 4 counts of false imprisonment in the 2nd degree and 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a minor in the 2nd degree. Oh my God. Now these are, I think, misdemeanor charges. So she'll be able to bond herself or bail out. He can't because he's on hold for another department with a felony warrant. Husband and wife, yeah. Oh my God. Hi, go gal. BC, thoughts on Josh's motion to vacate? He's still trying to blame his employee for the crime. I know. And then when that apparently didn't work out, he threw his own brothers under the bus. I wonder if Jim Bob will get a great attorney for her too. That is the #1 comment that I've seen today, Sunshine Days. I think I'm going to do that in future videos. I'm going to call out the best comment. Bingo. I-9 bingo. I wonder if Jim Bob will get a great attorney for her too. Exactly. Does that mean they locked them up or chained them to something? I don't even want to know, Kelly. I mean, I do, but I don't. And remember, everything here is alleged, but it is on TMZ, not just the Hindu Times. And when it said the 21st, I'm like, what? It's not even, that hasn't even happened yet. But across the international date line, it is the 21st. Oh my God. Well, if it's on TMZ, I can't question it. But I just can't prove it by going to the detainee information. Like Joseph, why do I'm so obsessed with the indiscretions and the crimes and the inhumanity of Josh Duggar, but now the good son. How is the good son involved in this? What has happened to the Duggar children? Put it in the comments. What do you think, besides them being taught, like the boys being taught to look the other way, bribe, cheat, cover it up, confess only to the church, and the women being taught, even by their mother, that you are there to service your husband and to have babies. Jay says, hope those kids are placed permanently somewhere safe. Well, you know, that didn't happen with Anna's kids. Didn't know if who has kids. Rita, they are sick. Absolutely. Leanne, welcome. Boy, you're going to have to go to the beginning of this when this is done. You've missed a lot. Unless you were just here lurking and I didn't know you were here. Very sick. Well, it started somewhere and not just happened. Yes. Oh. I mean, that's just broke since I came on the air. I've only been on the air 49 minutes. Sorry, not sorry. Kendra has been arrested too. Yeah. Thank you, Ladybug. Thank you so much for letting me know that. Just got in about 5 minutes ago. Okay. Oh, boy. Well, there's more charges, Leanne, on Josh Duggar. Joseph Duggar. Why? I've said it 50 times already. I even said it in the last couple of videos. I said Josh when I meant to say Joseph. YouTube is hard. Maybe it's just my brain with everything I've been through. But Joseph has more charges filed against him today now in the state of Arkansas. And his wife, Kendra, apparently has also been charged with the same thing. Joseph's inmate info intake sheet has been updated. There is no intake yet, at least not. Oh, it just popped up 2 minutes ago. It just popped up. Oh boy, let's look at it. Oh my God. I'm going to print this out, at least the first page. Her bond is $1,470. Oh my God. Her hearing date is 3/23. Oh, she'll be bonded out by then. Oh, I got to print out the first page. It won't print out the whole page the way this website is laid out. Okay, I'm going to print it and I'm going to show it to you to prove it. Oh. Yes, Truffles, thank you for saying that. Save the children. You know, I could just cry at this point. Those sweet children. Let me lean down to the printer. And I got to fold it in half because yeah, they just gave her address. Though they did leave out the numbers, but the numbers are not left out on Joseph's page. I just don't want her address to be shown, just for the safety of. I'm sure the kids aren't even there right now. After, you know, where are they with all their parents in jail right now? You're seeing it here. This is live. This is for real, people. Hi, Vicky. Easy money for Jim Bob. It's true. Yeah, I think she is. How old is she? Oh, she's 27. White female, blue eyes, blonde hair, 5'3", 130 pounds. Booking date was 3/20/26, 1656, but this just came up in the system. Oh, okay, there's something else that's just been added here. Oh, this must have just happened. What time is it in Arkansas? Is that Central Time? So it's 4:24 in LA. It would be 6:24 p.m. 5 minutes ago, 6:19, well, 18:19 Arkansas time, she has been released. She's released. It just came up. The status just changed. And her hearing is March 23rd at 7:45. Yeah, it's 2 hours ahead. Yeah, she was just released within the last 5 minutes. Hi, Penny. Welcome in. Booked at 16:56 and released at 8:19. Wow, somebody must have gone to the police station with her, because she just got booked at 16:56, which would be 4:56 Arkansas time, and she was released at 6:19. So she was only there less than an hour and a half, and she's been released. Michelle, welcome in. Yeah, Joseph Duggar has been charged with additional crimes in Arkansas today, misdemeanor crimes, and his wife was also arrested today on the same charges. Hi, Mary. She was arrested for endangering the welfare of a minor in the second degree, 4 counts, and false imprisonment, second degree, 4 counts. You know, and I did come on a little bit early today, but I'm glad I did. We want answers. I want answers too. I mean, I just almost want to cry, but I don't want to cry like in front of you guys. Like, I'm thinking about those kids. You know, I think as a detective, even though I try to stay away from these kind of cases, I think the ones that I did work, it's just, those are things you never get over in a career. I mean, in the 80s, I had a case where a little boy drowned in a swimming pool, and his brother came in and said, Grandma, Greg is sleeping in the pool. And then the paramedics performed cardiac arrest in the ambulance. They got his heart pumping again. but he was a vegetable after that, and he wasn't expected to live very long. And I don't know, I'm sure he probably died. But when I did the case, it had only been a few months, and he should have already succumbed. And for my entire career, that has haunted me. Grandma Greg is sleeping in the pool. She was busy taking a phone call. Unforgivable. I know it was just an accident, but I had to go to where it was. I had to scene sketch the pool and talk to the person who did this. And her son-in-law had just come home a few years before from Vietnam, and he was permanently disabled, and the wife was working all the time, so the kids were dumped off at grandma's every day. There was 3 of them, and they had to go through the pool, through a fence, to get to a sandbox that was behind the pool, and one of the kids ended up in the pool. And I've never ever got over that, and I try not to take these types of cases. God, do I even have the picture of Josh anymore? Joseph, I apologize. You guys could win a prize if you could tell me how many times since I started this live that I referred to Joseph Duggar as Josh. And I know I did it in yesterday's video too, and I even put it in the comments, and I pinned it as a comment to say I apologize. Let me view his. Maybe it's on my coffee table. Let me print out his. It's weird. On his, they give the actual street address on the street he lives on. And in his wife's, it just says the street name, the town, the state, and the zip code. They leave it out. Why is she getting more special treatment than her husband? Yeah, see, the second page comes out blank. And once again, I need to hide the address because I wanted to protect his wife and his kids, but now I really don't give a shit. Excuse me, about his wife. Yeah. Now he's had his hearing this morning, his extradition hearing with the judge via Zoom, and apparently his wife didn't show up. Well, I guess she was a little busy because she was sitting in the slammer. She was probably in a holding cell after she was fingerprinted and mugshot, and they already had the bail right there. But he's not getting any bail. And I think he's going to miss his hearing in Arkansas for those crimes, those alleged crimes that he's being accused of, because he'll be busy in Bay County. Where are their children? That's a very good question, Mary. Pata posted on your monitor. So this goes a lot deeper than we thought, people. And now I got to wonder about the other Duggars, And even though some of the Duggar girls have left, supposedly the LB, is it the LB? What is it called? The IBLP. I always get confused on that. Let me write that down. The IBLP. They're still in fundamentalist Christian churches that, from what I've read today, I did a little bit of homework on this, that even though they may not be IBLP, they're like a sect of the IBLP. And now they wear pants, and some of them even drink wine. But they're still over-the-top Christian fundamentalists with very wacky thoughts. Even the one that lives here in California, supposedly. She does live in California, but it's just a different. Someone said, even though it's like a sect of the IBLP, that some of these other children, the girls, are now members of, that it's just like a different color or a different flavor, but it's still a cult. Yes, Humble. Yes, Kelly. Yes, Truffles. Humble, you're going to have to go see the beginning of this. I can't keep talking about it. It's just, you got Josh. Joseph, I'm telling you, if somebody can tell me exactly how many times I've said that already. I might have done it once or twice yesterday, but I probably said that name 50 times today. I have Josh on the mind just because he said today or yesterday, he said he lives with the painful reality of how false accusations can destroy a life. He understands how the targeting of a person for publicity can twist the truth into sensationalized fiction. Yeah, that's a statement that was made from Seagoville Federal Penitentiary. And this time I am going to say his name, Josh Duggar. Little Joshy. And they don't even get along because his brother thinks he's a piece of you-know-what for cheating on his wife. But I guess he didn't have a problem with him, essaying his sisters. Just saying. Because women are dirt in the IBLP. You're a piece of garbage. They don't even want you to work. You just stay home and make those babies. They learn from the best, Warren Jeffs. Oh, sickening. Absolute. Bill Gothard, yeah. Excuse me, wasn't he the founder of the church, the cult, the IBLP? I mean, I was raised a Christian, but not a fundamentalist Christian, not in any of these cults. I mean, we went to church on Sunday. That was about it. And we were allowed to date and to wear pants and to hug people. No side hugs. Of course, we weren't really a huggy family at all, to tell you the truth. Yeah, I try to do it right, Sunshine Days, but let me tell you, YouTube has been very hard. It's been hard. And let's just kind of lighten the load for a moment. Everybody just take a deep breath. Oh my God. Where are we at right now? Dashboard. We're up to 2,162 subscribers. I hope everybody here is one of those 2,162. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, that they're different cults, but then they're just a different flavor of the cult. They kind of have the same principles. But the girls do wear pants now, but they're kind of still involved in cults. Well, we'll say maybe, allegedly. And I can't look at the analytics that would normally show up in my cell phone to tell you where we are. We're at over 3,100 365-day watch hours. Can't really see it on the back end on my desktop. I know last night we didn't gain a whole lot, and tonight we're not going to gain a whole lot. But then the next couple of days afterwards, we have quite a big chunk coming in. So you guys can share these videos. Keep watching. Kelly, yeah, I need to. The only way I can see that right now is to check my phone. I'm getting a lot closer. And by the way, if I click, let me see. Oh, okay. I click the Earn tab. I still haven't been notified by YouTube yet that I can qualify for the mini version of monetization without the AdSense. They still haven't offered that to me. And at this point, I'm just saying, F it. We're just going to go straight for the big enchilada. Okay, Kelly, I found it. We're at 3,142 hours as of March 15th. Yeah. And the 16th and the 17th are just going to be a little more hours, not including however many they're going to take off, because remember, the last day of the year will always fall off every day. But the last 2 days, the hours were pretty good. Like, I think one of the days was 200 and some, and one was 300 and some. Like, if we could have another couple days like that, boom, I'd be there. Now, I'll still have to wait for them to say, okay, you can apply, and then they have to go through everything. So let's not get ahead of ourselves yet. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Yeah, I see that you're killing it. Because, there could be other people watching too like that. but I'm just not getting as many comments from the other viewers. So I don't care if you comment or you don't comment. I mean, it helps, but let's just keep going. Let's get it going. And then, let's just say if, let's not get ahead of ourselves. If it happens, we'll throw an online party. But it'll be like starting over again, because all the views will have to reaccumulate and they won't back pay me for all those views. Keep it up. I'm trying, Jane. And with these health problems, it's been hard, with all the surgeries and recent hospitalization. And I've had some problems to my meds since my kidney surgery. And this week I had to be put on 2 more. It's just it's never ending. Never ending. But thank you, Kelly. That means the world to me. Yeah, I try to correct myself. But when you guys, if you happen to miss the beginning and you watch the replay, and I keep saying, at least I'm catching myself today when I say Josh, but I'm trying to say Joseph. Yesterday I caught it after the fact and went, dang. But I think it only happened once or twice. But it's just, I think because I'm talking about both of them today and some of the stuff that happened with him and his idiot wife. Yes, she's an idiot. And I don't like calling people stupid or being mean, but I'm sure that her kids have been probably victimized as well. I can't say for sure. There's no court evidence of that because she refused to let CPS interview them when her husband was going away for a very long time. It looks like the chat on the phone is actually, that's the good news today. It looks like everything that's coming up on the computer is also coming up on the phone. Okay, sunshine days. Idiot means they did not know better. Stupid is you know and you do it anyways. Yeah, apparently if you refuse, they can get a court order. But they chose not to. And that makes me sus. Why would an agency like Child Protective Services not go and get that order? That's why when you come as the police to raid somebody's house, you've got to have a search warrant. Because you can say, no, you don't have a warrant. You're not coming in my house. Okay, we'll give us, 24 hours and we'll go get a search warrant. Okay. But yeah, they chose not to get orders to have all those kids interviewed. And, she was pregnant with kid number 7 when he went away. I don't know if he's ever even met the kid. I don't know. Can you bring your infant into the federal pen? This is sickening. And, at least during this live, and thank you, Ladybug, if you're still here, for letting us know that Kendra was detained and arrested and booked. And it is true, because it now has come up in the system. We got it in the system now. Well, they have it in the system. So, here's the latest. He's still in. He now has 2 additional charges, 4 counts each. And she's in and already out in under an hour and a half. Same charges. So she's involved in this sickness. What the heck is going on here? I mean, I can understand a Duggar boy, but this girl? I mean, I could believe this if this was Anna Duggar. I mean, Anna Duggar, she's going to kick her minor children to the curb if Joshy ever gets out. Because he won't be able to be around minors or his own children that are the minors until they're 18 or older. And there's going to be 1 or 2 that are still going to be minors if and when he still gets his planned release date of 2032. Personally, I would not let anyone in my house without a warrant, and I have nothing to find or nothing to hide. I guess it would depend on the circumstances if I would or wouldn't. That's if he makes it out. Exactly. I said that yesterday. If he makes it out. That little turd. And you know what, though? Before all this came out, I really did enjoy that show. And I don't agree with the cult. I don't agree with the IBLP. I don't believe in their ways of the men are superior and the women are dirt and they're just S objects and baby makers. But it was a very interesting show just to see how a family functions with all those kids under one roof. Like just the kitchen and the pantry, and there are parts of the kitchen that look like a restaurant. Where are the kids? Did CPS take them? Not a clue. So different from regular family units. Yep. That is the biblical way of thinking. Boy, and I thought my family was messed up. I mean, my family was messed up, but not like this. I mean, I was moved out 3,000 miles away at 18. I think the mom was abused. You mean Michelle Duggar or Kendra Caldwell Duggar? You know, if she came from that same church and background, it's possible. Amy, that's the cousin. She says that she wasn't. Oh, Katie Joy posted a video. I watched her video from, it was 5 hours before I started this, but there's probably been she's probably just did an updated video. Is there a second video for today? That's a good comment, LWC. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness and it wasn't as bad as this. Crystal says, yep. Oh, regarding Katie Joy posted a video. Oh, my YouTube ticker just went up. Let me look that up. I believe you. Yeah, and she knows so much more about this because, she's a professional YouTuber and this is what she does for a living. But as of the video that I saw just before I came on the air, she didn't know what the other charges, she knew other charges were coming. I heard that yesterday from someone too, that there may be other people getting ready to get arrested. Oh yeah, she just posted a video, 25. It says, Joseph Duggar case explodes. Kendra Duggar arrested and charged in separate investigation. I expected more to come out of this, but not so quickly. Mary Beth says, the father, Jim Bob, is so controlling. Yes. But he always has that big smile on his face, like, how you doing? Nice to meet you. I can't do an Arkansas accent, but the cult they belong to is horrific. Yeah. I just got to think about the kids. Jay says, I got married 1 week after graduating high school, married 41 years. Jim Bob, very controlling, even from what I saw years ago. Yes. And I think, I hate to, think these things, but I think the wife, meaning Jim Bob's wife, Michelle, I think she's a little off. And I'm not sure what all that is about. I don't know how anybody could have, she's got 19 living children, but she's also had 1 or 2 miscarriages and a deceased child. But 19 living ones, so, she's been pregnant 20 sometimes. Like, oh my God. Well, let me go back to the live. How many grandchildren? That's a good question. Because those Duggar kids are having their own kids like puppies. How would you even keep track of all the birthdays? If you have 19 kids, and most of them are now married, so you have son-in-laws and daughter-in-laws, and you have grandsons and grandkids. I mean, think about that. There'd be like a birthday every day. I mean, I'm sure there's some people that have the same birthdays, like it's like the Osmonds. And they started out with just the mom and the dad. And when Olive Osmond passed away before her husband, she had like 9 kids and umpteen, I think it was 60 some grandchildren. And then there was another whole group of great grandchildren. Like, oh my God. You need an Excel spreadsheet. Yeah. Like, seriously. I thought it like, because grandparents, they like to like send things to grandkids and send birthday cards or send them a little cash, or now they have gift cards today. When I was little, somebody might slip $10 in an envelope. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. I don't even have kids. I've got enough health issues. And, as far as I know, she's never been diagnosed with any female-related cancers. I would think she would have had to have a hysterectomy by now. I don't know. Like, ugh. And I think most of the children they're good-looking kids. And what's so funny is that they're so holier than now, but when Jim Bob and Michelle were dating, before they were married, they admit that they were already fooling around, doing things that people in that church shouldn't be doing. Maybe they weren't IBLPs then. But yet, their children can't hug, kiss, hold hands, go out on a date unchaperoned. Yes, she did. Olive Osmond took care of her kids very well, though. Absolutely. Well, they were good Mormons. But, I'm not pro-Mormon or anti-Mormon, but a lot of the Mormon, like the kids or the grandkids in the Mormon church now, a lot of them are starting to walk away. Their church doesn't align with the LGBTQ plus community. And I know a Mormon couple, I don't know them personally, but they're YouTubers up in Eagle River, Alaska, and they've got 5. And, but their parents were Mormons, and their parents were probably Mormons. And it's kind of like a cult, too, in a way. They're on a cross-country trip right now in the lower 48 from Alaska. And when they go to church every Sunday, they have to check in with the local wards, they call it. And then they are told where they must go. Even while they're on vacation, they must attend, and this is where you go. And I think you have to give up 20% of your salary, even if you don't have enough money to feed your kids. Now, they do, obviously, but what's going to happen when, 1 or 2 of their kids ends up on that spectrum? Are they going to support their children? Or are they going to support the church? That's where I have a problem with that church, because some people will kick their kids to the curb over something like that in favor of the church. Believe Kinder and Joe kept locks on the kids' room doors on the outside. Oh my God. Yes, and Jay, sadly, okay, Marie has a couple of LGBT children. And when I say sadly, not that they're LGBTQ, but her son unalived himself in downtown LA, jumping from an 8-story balcony at the Fashion Institute. He had been accepted, and that's very hard to get into the Fashion Institute in LA. And he had been accepted, and he jumped out of a balcony and fell to his death. LWC, too many children. The youngest child, Josie, had serious health issues when she was born because Michelle went into early age. Oh, meaning early labor because of her age. I remember that. Awful. I always think about that little girl. Is she doing okay now? I'm just still checking the computer to make sure, but it looks like we're getting the messages. It looks like that. If I'm missing something, it's not my fault, people. I'm sorry. But at least the computer and the iPhone seem to be lined up. YouTube's had a lot of problems this week too with videos. Like one of my new videos that only had a few hundred people come in to the live has now got like 2,600 views, but yet the numbers haven't caught up yet. And I hear that's a very chronic problem with YouTube is getting the view count right. That's why it takes them 4 or 5 days to add the new totals and then take off the last day of the year's totals. And that's why once you meet the requirements, which I have already met now for the partial, meaning memberships and super things tab, which really won't help me until I get the full, but they should have already sent me an invitation by now because they're supposed to send it within 48 to 72 hours, and it hasn't happened yet. Now, hopefully when I reach the mark where I get the 4,000, there is a tab below that says reapply, and hopefully that tab will light up because I'm already in the system. They should set it up to do additions instantly. No, it doesn't work that way. It's been at least 3 days now, and I haven't. Everybody's like, "Oh, go into your earn, go into your monetization on YouTube Studio." I have. I'm there right now. It's there. It's not there. I'm even checking my Gmail. With all those rules, it feels like a mouse on a wheel. Yeah, having locks on your kids' doors that you can lock on the outside in some states is considered child abuse and neglect. Absolutely. Dang. What kind of people? What kind of POSs are these people? Well, maybe these kids will be better off, but they'll probably end up like Anna's kids, and they'll end up over at Jim Bob and Michelle's. And I don't know who will be watching them. Because, Janice, she's married and has a kid now. She was the one who got nailed a few years ago while she was over at the main house taking care of all the darn kids, and somebody wandered out the door, and there was like a toddler on a highway or something. And somebody stopped, and there was a baby or somebody out there. Like, what? Hey, Joe. Thanks for coming in. I'm getting ready to go off the air, so you guys are going to have to watch from the beginning. I'm sorry. I can't even do this anymore. And I will keep reporting on this case. And I haven't forgotten Nancy. There's no more information coming out on Nancy. Yeah. What a lovely couple. I remember that kid had walked down the road. Yeah, something like that. They could have been run over by a car. Awful. But, she was probably there with 20 kids. What can you do? And it's not even her kids. She could have been in the bathroom with one of the kids or changing a diaper, and someone just walked right out the door and she never even saw it. There ought to be a law that if you have kids, you should be able to take care of them and not push it off on the siblings. Like your kids have to take care of the younger siblings. I remember that very well. And someone had mentioned to me that, TLC went ahead with the show. They probably knew about Josh's preteen indiscretions. I don't think he did. I don't think they knew about it at all, because they were not investing millions in production if they knew something like that. And apparently now I'm starting to remember more about it, that report was sealed, and somehow it magically resurfaced years later, and the show ended immediately. Oh, was she taking care of Anna's kids when that happened? Allegedly, Anna wasn't there. She was visiting Josh in jail. Is that how it happened? She was watching Anna's kids? And probably several of her siblings as well. And one of them slipped out the door, probably. At first I thought, oh, what the hell are you doing? Like, how could you let that happen? And then I realized she's probably overwhelmed. And it was obviously just an accident, but still could have been fatal. Jay says 2 for you was bad enough. Oh, it was one of Anna and Josh's kids. Oh, I didn't know that. Or if I did, with everything that's happened in, my mind with all these surgeries and treatment and medicines, my brain it's still very sharp, but it's not like it used to be. All this is, I'm kind of like, once their show went off the air, and then it was put up on the shelf for like, what was it, a couple of years? And then they had the spinoff Counting On, but that didn't happen right away. And I remember I saw some of that, but then I don't remember if they just took it off the air or I didn't have cable anymore because I was sick. Like, I remember when that first came on and seeing some of it, but then I have no memory after that. Like, it could have just been my own health, and I turned off the cable and that was it. But I always followed all these kids online, and I follow like some of their YouTube channels. I haven't read any of the books. I'm not going to invest money in these people. Someone suggested yesterday that I read Amy's book, and I don't have much time for books, but if there's an audio version of Amy's, I'd love to have it. Oh, it was canceled after Josh was arrested. You mean the original show? Or the Counting On show? Jay says, my brain is not the same either after the strokes. Well, more power to you. Oh, Counting On. Okay, thanks for clarifying that. Yeah, because I think the first cancellation was when the sealed police report on Josh's his alleged crimes against the sisters and the babysitter and possibly one more unidentified victim, when that came out, and TLC was just, they wouldn't have got any sponsors. Like, you have to realize a TV show or a movie is a business. It's a business. It's not done for creative purposes. It's a business. And they have to be able to make money, lots of it. A coward is what they made you. Let's see what you look like. Wrong side out? Oh my God, where are my mods? See ya. I guess that's a sign that you're doing better when you get trolls, because that used to never happen when I was a smaller channel than I am now. Oh gosh. But hey, thanks for the engagement. That's why I can't wait for this remonetization, like for the ad views, I can't wait to make the pennies from, bring in 20 trolls that we have to put on 24-hour timeout. I watched the first 2 sessions. It reminded me of how I grew up with the overbearing and controlling father, and I had 6 siblings. Oh, wow. Desi Clark, goodbye. But you can come back in 24 hours. But he or she is not going to hear this right now, but it's funny. Funny, we haven't seen Pink today. Where's Pink? We saw Pink a few nights ago, and I was like, hey, there you are, Pink. And then, goodbye. I don't know if one day I get big enough where the packages actually start arriving, like I'll actually get mail from my channel. I haven't got to that point yet. But when that happens, I'm going to be a little paranoid opening the boxes. I don't want like a glitter bomb to go off or something. Oh God, I shouldn't have said that. Now I just probably gave somebody an idea. We'll have to get it scanned before I can open it. But you know, one of those scanners back 30 years ago cost over 50 grand just for a used one. A new one cost over 100 grand. Because I used to scan for some of the biggest people in the industry sometimes. We'd have to wear radiation detectors and get our radiation levels checked. That pissed me off, and then I end up with cancer, you know. Hopefully not because of that, but I don't know if we get a return address from somebody named Pink. Too funny. Well, you guys keep watching the videos, hit that thumbs up, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, hit the bell icon, click all, and make sure in your settings of your, whether you got Android or iPhone, that you check your settings, go to your apps, scroll all the way down to YouTube and make sure your notifications are turned on. Because without that, clicking the bell icon won't help you a bit. I appreciate everybody that's watching. I know I was a little bit early today. I have to go get something to eat, and I think I have a ball game coming on soon. Yeah, we're getting close, people. And just to give you an update, no more baseball mail. But you know, most of the stadiums, they're just getting ready, but the full staff's not there yet. So I really didn't expect any of this baseball mail to come in. I've only received the 3 thus far. I'll be happy just with what I have if nobody else responds, but I think we just need to wait a little bit more time till the season gets going and the stadium staff can attend to these things. So good night, Jay. Thanks for modding, Kelly. I appreciate you. Well, hopefully we won't have any more bad news to report on this, but I'll keep you updated. Thank you so much. And make sure you're watching the videos. Binge watch. And I see a lot of you guys are binge watching the lives, but you can also binge watch the long form content. Just click the video tab or go to the playlist. I got something for everybody here. You too, Leanne.